Join me as we talk all things true crime.
Made contact and shattered.
The missing 4-year-old. The parents have called in advised that the mother has went through a wall, came home, now they can't find her.
Chad, where are Lori's kids? They've been missing for 4 months. You have nothing to say?
4 were stabbed multiple times and were likely asleep during the attack. Some had defensive wounds.
Most of them had just like one that was the lethal stab wound.
Oh, what a tangled web we weave. Once I told a lie, and I told my family, I had to keep lying.
What's your, is it deemed?
We haven't cleared anybody.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, moderators. EE Caroline, good to see you. Planet Jace, Crazy Crime Chick is in the house with, which is such a delight. I hardly ever see her anymore, so it's good to see you. And hello, Tony and everyone else. Good to see everybody. Again, hit the thumbs up. That helps keep this story out there. It helps keep Summer's name out there. We always start off my show with that intro, which has the 911 dispatch and obviously her face, which is just a way to kind of keep her out there on our channel, even though in the last 3 years we have had pretty much no developments at all. And obviously, no arrests, unfortunately. Today on Twitter, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation has put out their own little update. We will listen to that. It says, this weekend marks 3 years since Summer Wells disappeared. Since then, we've worked 6,500 leads and tips, interviewed and re-interviewed anyone with potential information, and scoured our acres upon acres in search for answers. We won't stop until we find those answers. So it's only a 2-minute and 12-second clip, and then we'll play the parents, Don and Candace Wells' most recent interview, which was a couple days ago on their local media channel. So give me 1 second to share my screen. Is the sound okay for everybody as well? Like my audio? Johnny Kramer's here serving tea for everybody. So sit back and relax. We are going to go through, obviously, this little update on Twitter from TBI, and then we'll listen to Don and Candace Wells' latest media statement. And then we will just kind of recap the case with this edited video that I put together, which encompasses the whole case for everybody. And then we'll just kind of discuss theories and all that. Hey, Roro, and everyone else who's here. It's good to see everybody. So again, I have only watched a little bit of this update, so it'll be kind of a live reaction. So here we go. Let's see what they have to say.
When I see the picture of Summer Wells, I see my daughter. And I can tell you that if my daughter was missing, I would sure hope that somebody was looking for her every day. My name is Josh Melton. I'm the Assistant Director of the Criminal Investigation Division for the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations. We don't have the evidence in this case to know for sure whether or not Summer was abducted or whether or not she walked away from her home and became lost. It's really important to us to not focus all of our efforts on just one of those two. Many people have speculated what they think has happened in this case. The difficult part of the speculation is that if we as investigators speculate and focus our efforts in one direction, we're making a huge mistake. We have to make sure that we're being completely comprehensive as we investigate. We continue to focus on ground search efforts. We continue to focus on interviews of those who may have information about vehicles that have traveled through the area or technology that could have been used that may give us an investigative lead. All stones are being turned over. We have some of our most talented agents assigned to this case. We have brought in subject matter experts within TBI from across the state to assist in this investigation. We have thrown everything that we know to throw at this case, and we haven't had the answers that we need yet. No, we'll get them, but we don't have them today. Children are our top priority at TBI. They are the most vulnerable population that we have. They're our most precious things in our world. Our commitment to the public is that we're not going to allow this case to sit on a shelf. We are committed to bringing Summer home, and we will keep working on this case until she is home.
So again, not much of an update. I believe that without her body, I think that the investigators are sort of like all of us who have looked into this case, and they're, looking at every single angle and don't know which one to kind of go down as the official narrative. Some people who have met the parents and who have actually been out there on, boots on the ground searching for her have said that they know some people who know exactly what happened to her. And those people are the people who are closest to her. So that would be mom, dad, grandma, personally. There are other people who have surrounded this case who could know information too. But that has also been sort of a dead end. And that is Jose, who is now deceased, and Allie, Hunter's mother. I heard she passed away too, and then I heard she was still alive. So does anyone have a clear answer for that? And these are people who saw her supposedly on the last day that she was alive. Hello, Sherry and Angie, everyone else who's here. It is heartbreaking. It really is. And everyone is looking for her but her parents, WTF. And we're going to listen to the parents' most recent. That's what the rumor on the YouTube streets were, Crazy Crime Chick. And then the rumors were that she was still alive. So again, it's just one of those elements in this case where it's like, I can't keep track because the drama and the rumors are kind of muddy the waters. Hey, Deco, good to see you. So now we're going to play their most recent media interview, and then we'll get into the clips that I've put together for this entire case to kind of refresh us on things and that such. Hey, Zoe, good to see you. So this came out 4 days ago. I was told that they had to be contacted by the media for this interview. So it's not like the parents are reaching out to the media like, hey, like we want our daughter's story out there. We want to keep her name and face out there. Can we do an interview to do so? It's the other way around. They're reaching out to the family, the parents, and saying, it's the anniversary coming up. Are you hearing anything? Would you like to do an interview? Again, that's also rumors. My unconfirmed guess, and that's the thing, is we're going to talk about everyone's theories because mine have been all over the place. It's unlike any other case where I kind of have a set theory. Like for John Bonet, I kind of have a set theory. I feel like, yes, that's what I believed happened. For the Watts case, I feel the same way. That's what I believe happened. For other cases that are kind of left as a mystery or have gone cold in a way, I have my theories. But for Summer Wells, it's just one of those cases where it's like so many different scenarios could have taken place. So E.E. Caroline says, my unconfirmed guess is Summer was forced to do something that led her biting a tender organ and bit in one reflexed and deadly punch. Then they freaked out. So many different theories out there. Angie says, my opinion is I believe Summer was sold. Yeah. I mean, it's like, I can't even say, like, I mean, I'll discuss after the little clips and once we kind of go over the case again, what I think, like in so many different theories from the start that I've thought, but I can't just nail one and say, this is what I think happened. But yeah, I agree with you there, Crazy Crime Shit. But my opinion is I do think the mother knows more. Jalen agrees with you, Angie. This case is so hard to figure out with so many theories and rumors, right? And people who have passed away. It's like we can't even contact some of them anymore. Hey, Teresa and Vanessa.
Well, this Saturday marks 3 years since the disappearance of then 5-year-old Summer Wells from her Hawkins County home.
The night she was reported missing, authorities said Summer was last seen walking from her home on Ben Hill Road in the Beach Creek community. Hours later, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation would issue an endangered child alert for her. That would later turn into an Amber Alert.
To this day, law enforcement still has not located Summer Wells and are not any closer to finding her. News Channel 11's Ansley Daniels spoke with Summer's parents.
We have pushed investigators for months to learn about new details or updates in this case. What we do know is that her family continues their search to bring Summer home. I spoke with both Dawn and Candace Wells in Kingsport at a place with deep meaning to Summer's disappearance. Borden Park is anything but quiet this time of year. But 3 years ago, it was filled almost weekly with people praying for Summer Wells.
I see all these families, with their kids and how much they enjoy them and stuff. And we were stripped away from all our kids. All our kids have been kidnapped from us by DCS. And we're not sure about Summer, but we know about where our boys are at.
While the prayer vigils are now few and far between, Dawn and Candace Wells haven't stopped praying that their daughter Summer will be found.
We have hope. Always. But there's not much hope in this world. We have to trust God that there's hope in eternal life in heaven.
Summer was reported missing on June the 15th of 2021.
We know that she was taken off our property, and we know she was taken away in a vehicle, or they would have found her in the area if she was somewhere in the area. But who's responsible for her? We don't know.
I asked Dawn and Candace when was the last time they heard from investigators.
We haven't lately at all. It's been a while, over a year, I think. I haven't talked to any law enforcement at all. I tried to talk to the FBI agent about it, but that didn't go anywhere.
Dawn says he feels that he and his wife Candace were targeted by the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office.
They intimidated us, they belittled us, and done everything they could amidst all the chaos. And then CPS was there doing the same thing.
When asked about how he thinks about Summer's disappearance 3 years later, Dawn spoke about a Department of Children's Services investigation.
They said somebody had called and said that we was giving our kids loaded guns to play with. And so they closed the case June 14th, which is something CPS does not do. They don't just close cases. So it's really odd and mystifying why they closed the case June 14th, and then 24 hours later, Summer's gone.
Summer's mother, Candace, sat in for part of our interview, but got up after a few questions.
She was going to try, but her emotions are just too much.
The last update in the Summer Wells case from law enforcement was an age-progressed photo released in June of last year. This image was released by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. If you have any information about the whereabouts of Summer Wells, call 1-800-TBI-FIND. That number is right there on your screen. Right there on your screen.
All right, I'm just going to leave that up for a minute. I personally think the image of her that they did, this one right here, is too old looking. That's just my personal opinion. I believe this came out last year, and it is AI generated photo released by age progressed photo released by TBI. Now, when she went missing, she was 5. So of course, obviously she's around 8. Hey, Seth. Sherry and everyone else who's joined, thanks for being here. I just think personally that they didn't really put out the best picture for the age progression one, but that's just me. So some things that stuck out to me in Don's interview is he says, we know she was taken, and he has been saying that. Yeah, she looks more like 12. I agree, Deco. Like it's too grown up looking, too much like a preteen. Hey Pointer Lover, good to see you. I know it's good to have her in chat, isn't it, Seth? Yes, everybody, just to keep Summer's name and face out there, hit that thumbs up. Yeah, how do they know? Exactly. He has always emphasized that they know she was taken. We know she was taken. Hey, Roxanne, we don't know by who, but we just know she was taken. It's just one of those things that he's always said. And then another thing that stuck out in this interview that he says is that they have hope that they'll see her in heaven, something along those lines. And that's also something that he has said since day one. Now, before she was even missing for a month old, I'll never forget this. She wasn't even missing for a month. And he says, we'll see her at the resurrection. Now, most people, I guess I shouldn't say most, but a lot of parents of missing children don't want to accept that they'll see their kid again in heaven. They want to believe that they'll be found someday, and they're there waiting for them, and they stay at the house. They keep the kid's bedroom the exact same, and they have faith that they'll see them again. But yet Don is over here since before a month mark 3 years ago stating, I will see her at the resurrection. So that's always been red flag to me. Tony says he is too sure. I know. And he has always stated it pretty much as a fact. Candace knows where she's at. Sorry, not sorry. And Candace couldn't even say anything for this interview. And I heard that she walked away from the interview. So at one point off screen, she ends up walking away. Now, another thing that stands out as red flag is he says they haven't talked to law enforcement in over a year. So why the heck are they not reaching out to them weekly? Yeah, I agree, Debbie. Why aren't they reaching out to law enforcement weekly and asking for updates? Instead, they're just like, yeah, we haven't looking at each other. We haven't heard from them in a while. It's been like a year. It's like, what? How do you let that happen? Yeah, exactly. Most parents can't say or even think their missing child is dead. Exactly. And yet, since, I don't know, 3 weeks in, Don has pretty much said, I'll see her at the resurrection. Like, what? All right. So I seen some people said that they don't know anything about this case, but they're here for it. So I have the perfect video for those who don't know much about this case. I'm going to share it right now. It's something I put together a few years ago, so don't mind the editing. Editing is one of those things you get better and better 2 years ago as you keep doing it. This is 18 minutes long, so we can watch this. This will have, hello Beach Bum and everyone else who's here. Thanks for being here. This will have a lot of the case. I know, Seth, it's terrible. This will sum it up for everybody for who don't know. And it'll be a good refresher, and just to remember her and everything that came out as soon as this case broke 3 years ago.
Every time I look around, I see her face.
Should be the 110, 110 Hill Road off of Beach Creek. Should be the first residence on your right. Reference to a missing 4-year-old. The parents have called in and advised that the mother had went for a walk, came home, now they can't find her. They've been yelling for her. She's been gone for about 10 minutes now.
Breaking news, an Amber Alert now issued by the TBI for a missing 5-year-old girl. The search continues for Summer Wells from Rogersville. Wells is roughly 3 feet tall, weighing 40 pounds with blonde hair and blue eyes. She was last seen wearing gray pants and a pink shirt. Now, she was reportedly last seen outside of her home in the area of Ben Hill Road and Beach Creek Road.
Very little is known in the disappearance of little Summer Wells. Even less is known about who she really was as a person. In this little video, I've tried to highlight who Summer Wells was as a person. You'll hear from her parents and those closest to her on various networks and YouTube channels. I've tried my best to gather together somewhat of a story for this little girl. So much chaos and drama has surrounded this case, but we need to bring it back on the focus of Summer. Who is Summer really?
We was in Arkansas, and when I just fell in love with her. I don't know. It's just one of the things we fall in love with somebody, and we tried everything in the world not to have kids, but ended up having 4 kids. I don't know. Nothing unusual, I don't think. Just, I don't know. We started out in a van, lived in our van for quite a while, and she worked with me for a long time. Got our own place and everything up there, and had a job. I don't know. We just worked all over Arkansas and Missouri. Got to know a lot of people up that way. And, I can remember us going through a small tornado up there. Always there working on a 3-story condominium. They broke all the doors, broke a bunch of windows while we was in the building, and the parking lot was just turned into a river, basically. That was kind of interesting. But, eventually my mom got sick and needed help up here in Tennessee, so we come out here to help her, and she ended up leaving us the property. But well, we had Wyatt first in Arkansas too, and then, I think then we come here to Tennessee, and we had Waylon and Summer.
Summer Moon, Utah Wells. Got about 2 or 3 sheets of paper, and we wrote down a bunch of names on each paper, and we just, that's what we ended up with that we liked so much, and that's how we did it. She loves her name. She loves her name.
Yeah, quite a shock having her. Of course, I was there when she was born C-section, and when the doctor pulled her out, he handed her straight to me, and I was, it amazed me that she just wanted me. I don't know why. Even as a baby, she just wanted me. And she wanted her mom too. Don't get me wrong, but she really wanted me more than that. It just boggles my mind. I've never seen anything like that in my life. And and anybody, when she got older, I held her, she for the first 18 months, I'd say she had to have me. And when it's time to go to bed, she'd say, "Dad, will you take me downstairs and put me, lay with me for a while?" And I'd go down there. I'd lay with her for a while until she went to sleep, and I'd, usually go back upstairs or whatever. But yeah, I've never seen anything like that in my entire life. And, she was a tough little girl. She was so tough. She didn't care what anybody said about her, whatever, But if I just said one word, like in a mean tone, she would break down, start crying. But daddy, and just have tears running down her eyes. I'd have to apologize to her 10 times, and I'd have to take back whatever I said. Sorry, I said it. I'm sorry, and give her a big hug and everything. And I've never seen anything like that in my life. I don't know. Such a loving, good spirit. I have to be honest. Once we started having kids, she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. You can't trust people with your kids. So she stayed at home, and I worked constantly. And so she got to be with them a lot. Thank goodness she got to be with them. But I just worked all the time. And when I get home, I could enjoy some time with the kids and some family time. But for the most part, I was always working and always in trouble because I didn't spend enough time going out places and stuff.
Summer Wells' mother's name is Candace Bly. While the father, Don Wells, does most of the talking on all platforms, we do end up hearing a little bit from Summer's mother, Candace. Candace was also one of the last people to see Summer before she went missing. That last day together was spent running errands, swimming in the swimming hole, and planting flowers with the grandmother and Candace.
She's a happy little girl.
Okay.
She's the best little girl anybody could imagine. But, you know, happy-go-lucky. Nothing ever brings her down hardly.
This shirt. Why is it so important?
Because my daughter loved Paw Patrol.
Okay. Yeah, she did Paw Patrol. What else? Princesses.
Ponies, and she loved Frozen. Then she started with these, they're little animals, but I'm not sure what they are. And they got big eyeballs. I can't remember what the name of them are. I got a couple on my window.
Are they like little, they got like the big eyes, that kind of thing?
Yeah, they got the big eyes.
Yeah.
She likes bracelets and jewelry, and she's just a round girl.
She's such a loving heart and everything, because she loved to be outside all the time. That was her, unfortunately, her downfall. Because a lot of times the boys would be inside and we'd be like, "Where's Summer? Why'd you leave her out there alone? Go get Summer now." And that's happened over and over again. And we'd come out and she would always be close by, but we was always coming up. She had to be outside. She was an outdoor person. And
She loved to be outside.
Give her money every day. She'd give them a run for her money. And there was times, we'd be, that our boys like, "Don't do this and don't do that." And next thing you know, a stick would come up and just whop them, and be like, "Summer, don't do that."
Summer was the boss of the family.
She typical girl.
When they get out of line, she'd put them in line.
She'd do her best.
She loved to play in the mud and the water and swing on her swing and enjoy dirt.
When I run the lawnmower around, she would run behind me. When the boys run their bikes around, she, as fast as that little bike could go, she would be behind them running and keeping up with them, no problem. She loved to run. She just loved to run. She could pull herself up on that swing, her full body weight with her two hands. And she can do that. None of the other boys can do that, but she can.
Was she at school yet?
No, she's going this year.
This was supposed to be her first year.
She'd be outside most of the time. She would boss of the boys. She was daddy's girl.
Get over here. Well, it's a mess again.
That's all right.
But this is where Summer and little Waylon was, because Waylon's only 9.
Okay.
And they stayed down here. And these are all her toys, all her Paw Patrol.
All her movies. She's got a movie about the Savior.
The boys I brought back down here after she went missing because I didn't want them upstairs by themselves anymore.
Okay. And this is all her toys.
These are all her toys. All these toys that are down here are all hers, except for like the trucks and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the game system. That's the boys'.
Okay.
But them are all her toys.
And she's really into Paw Patrol. I see that.
Yeah, I've been collecting from day one. And these are all her little ponies that we've bought. And then these are them girls that she likes. Them new fashion, I don't know what they are, little princesses or whatever. She's like all kinds. Here's one of them bracelets.
Oh, that's just one of them. What do they call these? Oh, this is a little pony bracelets.
Yeah, I don't know what they were really called, but she liked them, and so I just every time I go to go outside, I'd buy her what she wanted.
Okay.
Whenever I got a little bit of money, I spend it on the kids.
Why is it doing that? What is
There's lightning, baby.
oh.
Our best friend in that church was Robin. She loved her to death.
Well, she looked up to
when
women that were.
She come to that church, she went looking for Robin. That was her favorite person.
Any woman that was professional, that
was pretty, beautiful.
She looked up to those kind of women. She, they were the word I'm looking for. I can't think of it, but she looked up to them.
Whenever I was helping teach Sabbath school, she was in my lap And sometimes it was hard to teach because she wanted to be in my lap, holding me and hugging me. I just discovered that it was actually easier for me just to hold her and let her love on me and hug me and teach with her on me than it was to make her sit in a chair. She was a helper. She loved to help. She loved to love on us. And I just loved her little arms around my neck all the time.
What is Summer's favorite meal?
Well, of course, anytime you go by, Burger King or anything like that, she's always wanting French fries. The number one thing is French fries and, soft drink or whatever. But candy was a must for her. She loved her candy. Every time I just left Walmart's today, and every time I go to Walmart's, I get real sad because we'd always spend a lot of time in the toy section, and she always wanted, the dolls and everything. And it was always, it took an hour to get her out of there, and we'd always have to compromise on something, of course. She'd want that expensive things, and I've bought them for her a few times. I still have some of her toys in my truck, and they're staying there. Can't remember what they're called, the princess, and I don't know. One's got the deer, or the tar, or the elk, or whatever it is. I can't remember what toys those are now, but I bought a few of those for her. Couldn't turn her down, we always sit here and watch YouTube music, and we had a lot of favorite songs, and she always liked the Godzilla song. I think Deep Purple. She loved that song for some reason, and I can't remember Maddie B, the little boy that plays on her. She liked Maddie B, but she just loved to listen to music that she could dance to, and you can see in some of her videos, she wanted to dance, and she didn't know how, but she tried the best she could, and she wanted to see herself as a princess, and we'd tell her, man, you do such a good job dancing, Summer, you're awesome, and she'd just keep on going, It was amazing to me the way that she could run. She would chase the lawnmower. Well, the boys would get on their little dirt bikes we bought them, and she would run behind them all day and not tire out. She was really strong and just really healthy. She loved to run and play, and I just hate the thought that she's someplace where she can't be out. She loved the outdoors. And I'd hate to think that she couldn't be outside or enjoy life or locked up somehow or being abused. Them thoughts just turn me up.
And I yelled downstairs for her a couple times, and I didn't get no answer, which was unusual because usually she always answers me. And so I went down there to check, and she was nowhere in sight. She was just gone.
It was just a normal day. I called my wife, and she was getting her mother's prescription, so I decided just to go ahead and work late.
We just finished planting flowers, and then Summer was putting the rocks on top, and then she got a piece of candy from Grandma, and then she asked to go back in the house with the boys. Well, she walked right in the house. After Summer went inside, I walked back over here to my mom's camper, and I fixed my mom's knee brace when she was sitting right here in the doorway. And I told my mom that I have to go back in with the kids. Helping my mom with the knee brace only took like 2 to 3 minutes. After I came into the house, I asked the boys where she was, and they said that she went downstairs to play in the playroom. And I came into the playroom and looked. I even looked under the bunk beds and everywhere, and she wasn't here at all. When I couldn't find Summer in the basement, I come outside, and I stood up here on this hill, and I hollered for her and told the boys that she wasn't down there. And then I went outside, and I called Donnie right away.
About 5:30 p.m., my wife Candace called and said she couldn't find Summer. I says, well, hang up for me and call 911. So I threw my tools in the car as fast as I could, got in there and started down the road and called 911 myself. I passed all kind of cars in double yellow and everything when I'm getting really worried. So here's my road. I pull down here. Here's the creek right here. I notice my 3 boys are together and they're over here looking. And then I looked over that way and seen my neighbor coming this way towards my boys, and my heart sunk because I knew she was abducted. I knew she was gone.
I feel in my heart that somebody has came up here and took her, has lured her away from here.
Wells maintains his daughter was kidnapped by unknown abductors, but says he has no evidence to prove that. TBI says right now there is no evidence Summer was abducted.
The media, not only in Upper East Tennessee, but Middle Tennessee and Fox News and everybody else, contact me in my office with information about this.
Have you ever encountered anything like this in your career?
Talking about missing child to this magnitude, no. I've been through a lot in the last 44 years, seen a lot, investigated a lot, but this is one of the top ones. Nothing pointing to abduction, nothing pointing to foul play, other than her walking outside the house and not being found is basically the main thing right now. What actually happened to her, we're still trying to find out. No indication whatsoever of child abduction.
As of right now, the investigation remains open and ongoing. As far as the public knows, we have no leads on any suspects, and there is no person of interest named. Don and Candace remain adamant that they had nothing to do with their daughter's disappearance and that they are innocent. I hope this video gives everybody some insight of who Summer Wells is. For continued coverage on this case and many others, please like and subscribe.
All right, so I'm just going to replay it on mute so we can talk. I hope those who haven't really studied this case kind of were able to get like a overview of, everything that we know so far. Everything in that 18-minute clip is just all that's been given to us. They don't have any suspects named. They don't even have persons of interest named. They might have them, but they haven't disclosed that to the public. Don Wells himself has spent a year behind bars since his daughter has been missing for a violation of his probation. And I think a lot of us were hoping that while he was, away, that maybe some pressure would have been put on him, maybe him being separated from Candace. He would have maybe come forward with information or turned on Candace, but none of that ended up happening. So I see people asking about her head shaved. So they shaved her head. They have numerous reasons why. We don't know the truth. There's rumors that they had lice. There's rumors that she liked being a tomboyish, even though they've contradicted that by saying she was a girly girl. There's rumors that they tried to make her look like a boy for photos and videos, if you guys know what I'm talking about, or that it was done for punishment. It's just we don't have a clear answer. So there's a lot of questions in this case, and we just don't have the answers for them. So yeah, lack of evidence is evidence, Lambs Bond 007 says. I'm almost wondering if the day that they reported her missing, right, he knew she was abducted when he pulled in from work. Exactly. The more I hear them talk, the worse they sound. Does anyone have a theory? It's been a long time for me reviewing the case. Yeah, Karen, I think we'll talk about theories now. Honestly, my theories have gone all over the place. Started with an accident possibly that happened at the swimming hole, to her possibly taking some of the pain pills that were picked up at the ER that day. I've had the theory that maybe she fell asleep in the car, and then it was like locked on her, and she couldn't get out of the hot vehicle. There's theories also of her choking on that piece of candy that the grandmother gave her, theories that she was sold, theories that Don and his trips to Mexico have something to do with all this. We just don't know. Some people think she was missing before that day. I'm feeling like that almost must be what happened, because that we have the video of her at the swimming hole. Now that video was uploaded to TikTok that day, and Candace claims that it was taken that day. However, we don't have the metadata to show us that it actually was filmed that day and that was proof of life. We've only been told, like, yes, we went there and here's the video from it. But as you all know, you can have a video on your phone, upload it days later, and claim that this was from that day, today. So we don't actually know. The other thing that puzzles me is we don't have any CCTV video of them going through the drive-through at Sonic, because they claim that they went there after the ER. We don't have CCTV video of them picking up the prescription. Now, Chris McDonough from the interview room has stated that he had a law enforcement source that claimed that they were seen on CCTV footage picking up the prescription, but unfortunately, until I see that footage myself, I'm not just going to take the word of Chris McDonough, nothing against him, but I just don't know if I can rely on his source and all that, and I find it strange that we don't have any last video of them in public. In most missing persons cases, we get a video and it'll say, this is where they were last seen. If you have any information, let us know. Yes, Debbie, the photo of her on the milk. Let me pull that up. Just grab it from Google. I'm very curious your guys' theories also. Yeah, unless law enforcement says that, I don't believe it. Same. Candace never fed her that day. Right. There's so many things about that. Summer was alive on the milk jugs. Okay, hold on. Let me pause this video and change the screen. Oh, I love that picture of her. Switch the screen up, refresh our memory. Now, the milk jug picture they claim was taken on the day she went missing. We don't know if that is the actual truth. Same thing as the video of them at the swimming hole. We don't see the metadata to show us this was, filmed on this day, etc. Now, even if this was filmed on that day, the state of what she looks like could be troubling for some, and has been. People have mentioned her hood looks like it was used to lift her up or move her, the way that it's pushed over to the side. It was extremely hot that day, yet they have her in long pants and long sleeve shirt. Yeah, that's the thing too. It can go either way. If law enforcement does say it, I don't believe it. Yeah. Can't even fathom any of the things that could have happened. I know. and it's like never ending. And your mind doesn't want to go to some scenarios, but they have in this case. The drama in this case on YouTube, the exploitation of Summer Wells had gotten out of hand. And plus no updates from law enforcement. I sort of stepped back from it. Another reasons why I stepped back was because of pretty much what you're saying, Dustin. Like there was so many things that would go through my head of what possibly happened to her. And after finding out things about Dawn and her grandmother's brother and the charges that they had faced, and accusations of SA against women and children, it was just one of those things that I was like, okay, you know what? I have to put this case down. It's not healthy for my mental health. Yeah, and it got extremely toxic on YouTube. People were not only exploiting the case, but neighbors that lived near her were exploiting it. And then people started believing and listening to everything they had to say. And and that includes a neighbor claiming she heard a scream that day. So again, there's just so much stuff out there that you just don't know what to believe once it gets so convoluted. Could it be she was abducted? I mean, I feel like everything is on the table. I think if she was abducted, it wasn't a stranger abduction. I think it was someone that they possibly knew, or maybe they arranged the abduction. Remember, her scent from the dogs went down the hill at their house, and then it just stopped at the road, almost as if, she got put in a car. Yeah, the story has changed too many times. Hunters said they went to Burger King before they picked him up. Really? I never heard that. Interesting. See, that's the thing is I don't know. Yeah, there's so many pieces missing in this case. Yeah, all the boys are out of the house, and that's good. That's a good thing because they had reasons to have the kids taken by CPS. Have the authorities been involved with the family prior to Summer going missing or since then, or is Summer the only issue the family? CPS, like Child Protective Services, I think it's called DCFS in Tennessee, and law enforcement, yes, they visited the house. There's been domestic V situations between Candace and Don. There's been drug situations. There's been driving while intoxicated situations. Like I said, Don was on probation when she went missing. Lots of different things. Lots of red flags, pretty much. Candace gave them a sock for the scent dogs. When did Summer wear socks? Interesting. Never heard that. I heard that they gave clothing. And then they claimed that all the clothing that they had that day was taken by TBI. Candace and her mom were 30 feet away. Nobody went in that basement and took her. Exactly. And the whole grandmother aspect of all this, Candace claims she was putting a knee brace on her grandmother, who lived in a trailer nearby. Before I change the photo, do people believe Summer is alive or deceased in this photo? Just put up your thoughts and check. Yeah, so she put her mother's cast on and then told Summer to go in the house. And Summer went in there after grabbing a candy and then went down in the basement. And then that was the last time Candace saw her. And then it turns into this whole, she was taken. And then also remember that grandmother talks about taking a nap. So there's a nap that gets squeezed in from the grandmother. And then when everything broke, the news broke, grandmother leaves the state. 6 kids Candace has lost, one forever. So sickening, right? And I hate hearing Don in that video that I did that he says they didn't even want kids and then they ended up having all those kids. Like, what the heck? Nobody went in that holler way up in secluded hill and took her. I feel like her walking off is another thing that I'm just like not really trusting because we would have found her by now. But if you remember the first initial reports, it was stating that she was walking away from the house, like in the dispatch. So Sherry doesn't think she's alive here. Neither does Debbie. She says deceased only because her fingernails look purple. This isn't the best one. Hold on. The quality. Hang on. So many people have examined that photo over and over. People have noted that her lips, okay, this is the same freaking website. Hold on. Her lips look, not like she's alive. Oh, God. Oh, Facebook page. Wait, hold on. Did we see this one? Oh, I don't think we've seen this one. We've always cooperated with police, always. And just because parents cooperate doesn't necessarily mean they're innocent. It is noteworthy, but hold on. Let me share my screen. Here is another Don Wells interview from today, posted a couple hours ago.
Always cooperated with police. We didn't want to give up on Summer, so we've always cooperated with police, always trying to figure out what's going on, Well, we've tried social media, and that was a complete train wreck. I've tried going out and searching what little bit I could by myself, but that's tough too. So no, I don't search anymore. I mean, I wouldn't know where to search. She could be anywhere in the world. We don't know. A lot of bad responses from people. They said, well, why are you coming here? Why don't you search down the road somewhere? Or, yeah, it got pretty sketchy going into some of them hollers and stuff and trying to ask people, about have you seen our little girl or anything? They get people don't like it,
So once again, another interview done today around the 3-year mark, and yet no Candace, no statement from Candace. To me, that's red flags. So this says, Summer Wells' father, Don Wells, tells me they are trying their best to cope with their daughter's disappearance, but it has been a tough 3 years. If you have any credible information about Summer Wells and what may have happened to her, you're asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND. Let's see what some of the comments just say. They turned away searchers right from the start. Don says he knows where she is and even told mom, and even the mom told a YouTuber, I will let you know in 2 days. They know. I might be wrong, but if I am someone can correct me. Everyone was home but dad. Was it checked out thoroughly, or not just him being at work, but the route he took to work? To me, it would be possible to get rid of her on his way to work. I'm certain they've looked into that aspect personally. I don't know if this is going to let me read the rest of the comments because I'm not on Facebook here. It's just showing the most relevant. Hold on, let me see if I can get all the comments. There we go. Nope. Let's actually look at the interview that we already played and see the comments on there. Hold on, give me a second. Then I'll check with you guys in chat. So Johnny says, agree, ladies, 100% she looked gone in that milk jug picture. Also, her hands are curled. They also had 15 dogs on that property. Right. So who's going to come and take her with all those dogs there? And no mother and grandmother weren't alerted at all. I feel she was on the verge of being gone in this photo. They would have found evidence if she walked off. Yeah. So, and that's the other thing is, so then why is the dispatch saying that she was outside walking? Or no, I'm sorry. The mother went for a run. That's been another story. So not only did the first media reports come out saying that she was last seen walking away from the property. If you guys look those up from day one, some of the media reports that. But then in addition to that confusion, the dispatch call says mother went out for a run, came home. Now they can't find her. And then Candace came out saying, like, I have never gone out for a run. Like, so then where did that come from? And again, we haven't heard the 911 call. Is she alive on the milk jugs? If she is alive, she is in need of emergency services, in my opinion, right? The very least, semi-conscious to the point of being comatose. And that's the other thing. So then is she drugged on purpose and then given to somebody? That's been another theory, that she was made to be comatose and then handed off to somebody in a sale. And then there's other ones that are saying she took medication she shouldn't have because they went to pick up some at the ER that day and she ended up ODing. So there's just so many different scenarios. Yeah, those dogs would have went crazy had a stranger come up there. Dispatch said Candace went for a walk or run prior to Summer getting gone. Right. And then she comes out saying like, no, that's not true. It's like, so then dispatch got it wrong. I don't think so. It's suspicious of why they took a video and photo at the same thing. Yeah. So that milk jug picture was also a video. That seemed like an accidental video. Like, you know how sometimes you guys pull your phone up and you want to take a photo, but you actually hit the video button. Very strange. Oh, Lord, this is horrible. I got here late. This poor babe. I never followed this case at all. So I'm going to have to go back. Yeah, Mel, I have like 18 minutes that just kind of encompass everything that we know so far. I've seen kids fall asleep in the worst looking uncomfortable positions a lot. And why would they take a picture of her if she wasn't alive or put a seatbelt on? True. Very true. That's the thing is like there's so many angles. And so many head scratchers in this case. Parents who cooperate too much usually have something to hide, in my opinion. Yeah, it could go either way, right? They're not cooperating at all, so it's red flag, or they're cooperating too much and they're almost like fishing for information. Like, what do they know about? What do they have on me? I mean, it could have been as simple as her choking on the candy. Yeah. And the great shit show of the cover-up began. Exactly. Like, Grandma and Candace possibly could have been drunk or high at the time, because that's the other thing is this case has substance abuse tied into it with the family. Unfortunately, it's one of those situations. So were they in a state, and it's been rumored that the grandmother called 911 and spoke with police when everything went down because Candace was too drunk. So it's just been a lot of stuff that's kind of been made you go in so many different directions of what could have happened. See, Karen says that she's alive in the photo. Yep, Don said, I have 7 alibis. Candace has none. She's going down. And when he says, we tried to go on social media, but that turned into a shit show or whatever, it did. It absolutely did. He was all over YouTube. And that was one of the things. And not only was he on YouTube a lot, but he was on there drunk and high. And that was one of the things that he had said when he was drunk or high. I don't know. He was under the influence. I have 7 alibis. Candace has none. She's going down. And what do you know? Candace doesn't come out on the media this year and say anything. Doesn't even say boo. It's very sketchy. And not only does Candace not come out, the grandmother hasn't shown her face either. Oh, and that's the other thing for those who don't know. Candace has a sister who is also missing and has been missing for, I don't know, a couple decades at this point. Isn't that wild? Blue lips, blue fingernails. They've both said a lot of incriminating things. They have. She could have been down the road, though. It's just sad. Same dress as the Barrow video, y'all. I have a feeling their property is like a trading post, just my opinion. That shed at the bottom of the property, which Don mentions that he drove to first, has always stuck out to me too. He stopped at this shed. Like, what was that shed used for? And that's why a reason why I said, I know, I wish they'd release 911 too, Teresa. Yeah, Candace running, right. And that's always been like, so was it supposed to be like she went out and ran, like went for a run, like physically running, or a run in her car, like to go get something? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what did that mean? Because she's not running. I agree. But yeah, that's the thing. It's always stuck out to me, that shed on their property. And like I said, that was another reason why I kind of had to step away, because it's like my mind would go to these dark, dark places. Yeah, Candace isn't running anywhere except away from the camera and the media to get her daughter's name put out there. Now she's running. Yeah. How can they say the dog hit on her scent when her scent would be all over the place? Right. And that's the thing. It's like these scents can last, days on something. Like, she could have been playing on that trail or whatever that her scent was found on, the day before, or, 2 days before. And that's what the dog picked. It's hard. It's really hard. She looks sedated possibly to me. Hey, Natasha, good to see you. Yeah, remember the accidental video in Gannon Stout? Yeah, and you know what's funny about the video that Candace sent of Summer on those milk jugs is that was an accident that she had sent to a YouTuber. Like, she didn't mean to. Like, I think she meant to send just the still frame and sent the video. I believe Candace was sedating her often, and that's what I'm afraid of. Why? And it's kind of like, oh, then Dawn talks about them sleeping in the same bed. And it's like, oh, okay. Is that why? The mother said she was out for a run when she went missing. Which mom? That mom running? I know, it doesn't make any sense, even for people who don't know the case. Like, really? She doesn't even look like she's wearing a bra to run. Watch the replay. ATS just showed a video of the entire story. Yeah. If you guys joined late, I've got 18 minutes of the entire story that we know so far. They would take a photo for proof of life, in my opinion. Yeah, trying to cover their butts a little bit. Let's see. And they picked up opioids, pain relievers from the ER, I believe. I think it was only hydros. And I say only hydros because it's just not the strongest form of painkillers, but for a child to get and consume could be bad, So it's just one of those things. Allie's daughter said when Summer was 3, she got into drugs and no one called 911. I believe it. It is hearsay, but I believe it. Yeah, choking on the candy could make sense. They emphasize that candy a lot. They really do. And if mom and grandma are drinking or effed up, and something happens, they're not able to be there for her. Did they decide, like, let's hide this? Why wouldn't they just call 911 though? But at the same time, do these parents look like they're the ones to do the right thing anyways? I mean, look how dirty her face is there. The pic of Dawn holding Summer and crying, and the dress is the same one in the burial video. Yeah, and he's all tan from his Mexico trip. Did Dawn have a drug debt that was owed? That's been another theory. He admits to being a runner for drugs. Was something owed? Yeah, grandma has a daughter missing and a granddaughter too. Yep. You know, what are the odds of that? It's like hitting the lotto twice, people have said. Grandma ran away. She did. She left the state as soon as all this went down. I personally don't think he was involved. Don? I'm wondering if he wasn't directly involved, but kind of keeps the truth hidden because of things that they might have against him. I don't know. Since 2012, Rose Bly. Rose Bly is her sister who is missing. 13 years. I don't know if that's true, Angela. I'm not sure. There's so many rumors out there, and I had to step away. I think they were trafficking her out of that shed. I think that's definitely a possibility. And remember, there was a lot of RSOs in the area. Hey, Scottish Queen, good to see you. Yeah, Candace is the one with the missing sister. So the grandma has a missing daughter and a missing granddaughter. Just curious what evidence would be found if she walked off a scent. Is that what people mean by that? Because that isn't always the case, unfortunately. A scent, an eyewitness, somebody on camera, a dash cam, you know, her body itself. I know that they scoured those acres like over and over, not just law enforcement, but EquiSearch and other search crews in not just summertime when it happened, but they've gone out in the wintertime when all the brush has kind of gone down. They've taken cadaver dogs out there. So it's not just her live scent either. Like, it's been other types of dogs that would possibly pick it up. I don't know. If she choked on a candy, a parent would have called 911. And it's one of those things. It's like if she choked on the candy, a parent would have called 911. And if she walked off, would she, you know, she would have been found by now, in my opinion. So it's like, is it as simple as we're saying it? Would they have called 911 if they were on drugs or using drugs? I don't know. Yeah. Right, a run. Yeah, let's hear that again, because I got that in the beginning of this, just the dispatch.
Every time I look around, I see her face.
Should be the 110, 110 Parental Road off of Beach Creek. Should be the first residence on your right. Reference to a missing 4-year-old. The parents have called in and advised that the mother had went for a walk, came home, now they can't find her. They've been yelling for her. She's been gone for about 10 minutes now.
Breaking news, an Amber Alert now issued by the TBI for a
So the mother had went for a walk. So I guess it doesn't mean an interpretation of, you know, a run down the road in her car. Teresa says if she got lost or an animal got her, there'd be evidence, or they would have found her if just lost, or her clothing or something. No father should be showering with his daughter. Yeah, and that was another thing that came out. Sorry to give everyone the visual of Candace running. Yeah, that's the thing, is there are a lot of RSOs in the area. Now, TBI and law enforcement claims that they interviewed all the RSOs. And since an arrest hasn't come, what can we conclude? That none of them were involved? I don't know. Did they hide her? Don't know. Yeah, there's just something not right. If it was something as simple as choking, I suspect they probably wanted to cover it up because of SA. That's true too. Like, not only were they maybe drunk or high, but there might have been evidence if they, if she went to the hospital or an exam room or even the morgue, and they would have been like, oh, wow, okay, what's going on here? What was going on at home? A lot of stuff. Really? Not me. I'd be on the media, especially at the year mark, the 2-year mark, the 3-year mark. And not only that, so let's say Candace is like you, where you wouldn't want to go near the media and you'd have someone else do it. Why are they not reaching out to law enforcement behind the scenes? You don't have to go on the news about calling law enforcement, but Don pretty much says like, yeah, we haven't heard from them in over a year. So they're not only are they not going on, the mother is not going on the media, but she's not even reaching out to law enforcement. They're not even trying to get updates. So that to me is red flag. So I messaged her because she had her surgery today, Johnny. Never got a word back. So I'm hoping everything's good. Hi, Earth Mama. And she's just recovering. Yes. And she also threatened to blow up a Walmart, remember? Yeah, I don't think they really cared much for Summer. Maybe their own benefits. I don't know. Hey, Aries, good to see you. No doubt the scent disappeared if she was taken to a car. For some reason, law enforcement believes she's in the area. I think that had a lot to do with Candace's own phone pinging. Remember, they had mentioned that they knew that she left around that time, like a couple times, and drove around or something. But again, if she went missing for real on the day, on a different day than the day that she was reported, then all those phone pings that they are relying on, like, does that even mean anything? And again, that's just a theory that she went missing on a different day. It's not the truth. Unless she got picked up walking down the road. Right. Very true. The mother went for a walk. What mother? That mother walking? In my opinion, the call was made by Jody Sue saying she was 4. The neighbor? I heard grandmother made the 911 call. She walked across the street for drugs, possibly. The mother. It is really bizarre. It really is. It's one of those cases. It's more puzzling to me than John Bonet. Yeah, maybe they got rid of her because they didn't want them to do toxicology and find drugs in her system. Hey, Kelly, good to see you. If they were drunk or high, Summer was choking, they may have not even noticed until it was too late, in my opinion. Yeah. And by then it's like, you're not thinking with a sober mind. So then does the cover up begin because they're under the influence? We don't know. Yeah. Teresa says, I'd go to the media, but not YouTube. People have attacked John Bonet's family for a long time, and yet they still put themselves out there and want answers. So I guess it just depends. I'm trying to think of any other case where the family hasn't really spoken out looking for answers. Even those who get ridiculed, like Madeleine McCann's family, they were listed as suspects. People, believed that they had involvement, and they still put themselves out there and were looking for their daughter. But again, not everyone is the same. Yeah, she's banned for life from Walmart. I'm sure she cries about that. I feel like they probably moved her several times. Could be. I'm almost wondering if she was like put in a tree, like a tree trunk or something. But again, cadaver dogs can smell death like 10 feet of ice deep. So if you're underneath the water and it's frozen, a cadaver dog could still smell you. Yeah, no answers for Summer 3 years later. It's very, very frustrating. The other thing too is stories have changed numerous times from the parents. Like, it hasn't really been consistent. And that's always bothered me. Yeah, everyone reacts different to trauma. That's because they were getting millions of McCanns. Oh, the McCanns were getting millions of dollars. They had bought a new house, got millions from the disappearance of Maddie. Aries, definitely a possibility. It's on the table, in my opinion. Yes, she did. Yeah, that's the thing, Tony. So Adam Montgomery flips out on his own daughter, punches her, beats her to death. He's high on drugs, doesn't call for help or anything. Hides her body. So if drugs are related in Summer's case, is this another instance where, they're just not in the right frame of mind, not doing the right thing, obviously, and wanting to hide the truth? We just don't know. Sounds like my weekend is going down a disgusting, disturbing rabbit hole filled with pleasantness and fun. Yeah, I have a whole Summer Wells playlist if you want to jump down the rabbit hole there. Again, I said I wouldn't really speak about things until law enforcement comes out. They didn't really come out with anything today. It almost sounds like they're as lost and clueless as we all are. I'm hoping that's not the case. But again, 3 years later, no arrest. Really feel like they hit the panic button and went with the abduction theory, last-ditch effort after some sort of mishap. And then once they go after that theory, they kind of have to stick to it. We know she was taken. Don has been saying forever, we know, we know, we know. We don't know by who. Hopefully we have a breakthrough soon. I'm hoping for a breakthrough in Summer's case and Sebastian Rogers' case, both being handled by TBI, claiming that they have their best experts looking into the both cases. So yeah, it does seem like they're lost and clueless. The fact her name makes us seem like a psyop, I don't really believe but dang, really? What, Summer Moon? The name, you mean? Yeah, and I have all 900 pages of the new documents for Madeline Soto. Haven't dug into them yet. I have them sitting on my desk, my laptop, but you guys know what I mean. So we'll see where we go with that coverage. If they trafficked her that day and the perp never brought her back, they couldn't tell law enforcement that. Good point, Teresa. She's told to go down to the shed. That's why first reports say that she was last seen walking down the road. She goes into the shed with an RSO, or that's the thing too, it doesn't even have to be a registered SO. It can be somebody who's been under the radar. They take her away or unalive her somehow, and they can't let anybody know because, you know, again, these are just scenarios. Pointer Lover says, I don't have much faith in TBI. I hate to say it, but like, yeah, something's not right. And remember what's that one case where they never found the boy? They were able to charge the father. That was also TBI. Something Daniels, never found him, but the father, I believe, did get convicted. Yeah, I have no faith in CBI either in the Watts case. Absolutely tragic. Right. I agree. Something's not right in some of these states with the state entities. And we can kind of see that also in the Karen Reed case with Trooper Proctor's testimonies this week. State law enforcement coming out with complete incompetence, corruption, tunnel vision on the wrong person, in my opinion. It's upsetting that the boys will never see all this later on and be upset. It's just sad. We'll see all this later on and be upset. Just so sad. A lot of true crime is 18 and over. So I don't know. Obviously, they're going to be 18 someday. The girls were abducted by Ariel Castro, were found 10 years later. So there is always hope. Yeah, there's always hope. I agree, Tony. And yet Don in his interview sound like he's just ready to see her in heaven. Like he knows they're dead. Right. Jesse says it's their story. It's their life, sadly. Yeah, I highly doubt they're going to be looking up information on their own life that they've lived through. Okay, Dustin, have a great night. Oh, wow, really? He says, I have a new video of driving out to where Gabby Petito met her demise. Wow. Right, Jesse says, like Don's going to heaven. Right. Well, guys, now we can kind of come up with our final thoughts and theories. Again, I do not have like an official theory on this case. My only thing that I feel certain of, I shouldn't say 100% on, but I have a strong feeling, gut feeling, sixth sense, intuition, whatever you want to call it, is that the parents and the grandmother know more. And they're keeping it secret. Don't know what it is, don't know what extent, but I'm just feeling like there are people out there, and this is what experts, this is what search crews have stated, that they believe there are people who know exactly what happened to her and who aren't coming out with the truth. That's all I can really say. Oh, Aries, thank you. She says, great live ATS News. Keep up the great work in true crime, and thank you for keeping it real and balanced. Thank you. And she's thanking all my moderators. Yeah, my mods are the best. Oh, I like your picture. But yeah, Tony says she agrees. Teresa says she agrees. You know, they know more. I don't know exactly what happened. Like I said, there's so many different things that kind of run through my head, but I just feel like there are people who absolutely know what happened, and they're not being honest, and they're keeping it a secret. Pointer Lover agrees. And if you guys feel certain on a theory, like let me know before we end this. Planet J says, I don't know enough yet to have a theory, but I do have a very strong indicator at who I trust at least. My picture was a Star Wars Sith. Ah, I see. My favorite Star Wars is, what is it? Return of the Sith or Revenge of the Sith? The one where Anakin turns into Darth Vader. That's my favorite one. Agree, the parents definitely know more, Cindy says. Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, that one's my favorite. Really? Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, it's just got the best story in it, in my opinion. And plus, I love Natalie Portman. She's awesome in that one. Well, it seems like people are kind of in agreement that the parents might know more. And grandmother. It's just, I just hope law enforcement has some sort of angle, has some way to give us some answers. A lot of us want to know what's going on. I feel like a lot of us would be reaching out to law enforcement, and probably are. There are people who follow this case so closely. You know, some of their channels are just solely talking about Summer Wells. I bet you they're reaching out to law enforcement more than Candace and Don are. They're probably not getting any answers, but I just feel like they're reaching out more. Yeah, that's another example of corruption with law enforcement. Making a Murderer documentary on Netflix, the corruption of, right. Mine too, Star Wars, that movie, and I think they all know more, in my opinion. It's sad, guys. And here we go. This is going to probably be my last Summer Wells live until we get another update. When's that going to be? 4-year mark? Or are they going to come out with something positive before then? You know, that's what I'm hoping. Now, not only do I have to follow updates for for Summer Wells, but now Sebastian, both in Tennessee. It's unsettling, but I really appreciate you guys being here and talking about Summer Wells with me. Again, I can't believe it's been 3 years, but here we are. And, you know, hit that like button, keep her name and face out there, and hitting the like helps that for the algorithm. Sorry, wrong chat. Oh, multitasking, Johnny? Okay, I'll allow it. Even the neighbors know more. Right. Yeah, until we meet again. Yeah, we'll be talking about other cases, as you guys know. Hi, Princess Megan Elsa. You'll have to rewind. We're pretty much ending everything. Yeah, we're sticking on other cases. If you guys didn't see the latest in the Gilgo Beach Lisk Rex Huerman case, our live last night was just wow. I do have to warn you guys. Aries, I did one last night. You have to watch it. But I do have to warn you guys. I do too. I live near, I live on Long Island. So definitely, I plan to drive by his house. I'll videotape that for you guys. A lot of stuff, but again, have to warn you if you do watch the Gilgo Beach live stream from last night. So much unsettling, disturbing information came out. Like, I have to warn you. Yeah, extremely disturbing. And that's an understatement. Harley Davidson says, I don't have a like button. It's like hidden now. I'll show you. It's weird. Like on my laptop, you have to go like this. So here's our chat. You have to like go like this. You have to X out the chat. And then it's here. So it's kind of, I don't know why they switched everything around. Oh, wait, now it's over here. I don't know. They've like changed the format on YouTube. It's very annoying. but there should be some like buttons somewhere for you guys. Yeah, I think there's tons more. I'm not sure. I'm thinking alone, but Shannon Gilbert's case kind of makes me think there was maybe a small crew. Jesse on Long Island as well? What? It's awesome. And Small World. It's the same on your devices. Okay, Scottish Queen. Yeah, isn't it annoying? Why did they change that format? Yeah, I think there's many more victims. I'm pretty certain all the victims that were found on Gilgo Beach are linked to Rex. They haven't linked them legally or with evidentiary information yet, but I mean, just kind of fits him, right? Many, many, many more victims, and some of them are probably out of state, right? Oh, it's right under your profile pic on my iPad. Yeah, I don't know what YouTube is doing. People aren't getting notified. People don't know where the like button is. Like they just like set things up for us to fail. We have to get our stories out there, and that's what the like button does. Yeah, I hope everyone has a good weekend. It has been a wild week, from Karen Reed trial to the information from Rex Heuermann's case to everything else that we've talked about. I mean, Sebastian Rogers' drama and story never ends. I live in Wisconsin. Oh, so you're where Chris Watts is being held. Yeah, I think Shannon Gilbert too. And that might be one of the cases where he is linked to other people kind of being involved in some sick, sadistic, like sex ring or something. But it's hard to say 100%. Yeah, we all have a connection to a case. Sad but true. A lot of crime all around, right? All right, guys. So again, have a wonderful weekend. I've been Googling about Gilgo Beach all day. Cindy, I have a really, I think it's a good playlist, especially digging into Shannon Gilbert on my channel. It's under Gilgo Beach. You should check it out. All right, guys. So have a wonderful weekend. We'll talk again soon. Didn't do a Watts deep dive this week. We'll do one soon. A lot of other things going on. A lot of other stuff to discuss. And you guys know Watts is a closed case. So there's other things that I have, that I want to talk about, and missing children or take a priority. I've already gotten messages of, when are you doing another Watts live? It'll happen. It's going to happen. It's not going anywhere. So we'll talk soon, guys. And thank you to the moderators and everyone that hit the like button and chatted in chat. Thank you guys very much. And Roxanne, thank you for donating the Cash App. Pointer Lover donated Cash App this week as well. So I really appreciate you guys so much. And we'll talk very soon. Yeah, closed case in quotes, because a lot of unanswered questions in that case as well, which is, I understand why you guys like to talk about it. It's almost like John Bonet. People, it's like a cult following. They want to talk more about it. John Bonet is still active, but no arrests. So yeah, you guys have a good night. Yeah, hit the like button on the way out, and we'll talk next week. Bye-bye.